Hey guys, what's up? It's Charlie here, and today we're going to be looking at 10 everyday things that prove your life is a lie. We've already looked at 10 pictures that prove your life is a lie, but these are 10 more everyday things that are not as they seem. These are things you may never think about because they're so cemented in your mind. But we're about to blow your mind with these amazing things that prove your life is a lie. Subscribe and turn on notifications, and comment done when you've done this for a shout out at the end of our next video. Coming in at number 10, we have Powerball. Whenever you or your mum uses the dishwasher, a Powerball is often put in the dishwasher to wash your dishes. We all know Powerballs are white rectangles with a red ball in the middle. And I'm sure we've all fantasized about popping that ball out once or twice. But pretty much no one has actually done it because they're hard to get out and it's a waste of a Powerball if you do manage to take it out. Well, one man did actually manage to get the ball out using a pin, and he made a shocking revelation. It turns out the balls inside Powerballs aren't balls at all. Instead, they're more of a semicircle shape. He posted his discovery online and it went viral. This really messes up something we all thought, as it says Powerball and even shows a ball shape on the packaging. But this is just great marketing and a huge lie. These are also a lot easier and cheaper to make, so that's why you're getting a semicircle rather than a Powerball. Yeah, I guess Power Semicircle wouldn't be as catchy. Next up is Bear Grylls. We all know and love the TV show host Bear Grylls. He's known for shows such as Man vs. Wild and Born Survivor. On those shows, he demonstrates to us sitting comfortably at home what it's like to be a tough guy out in the wild. He camps, fishes, and uses amazing survival techniques. He's known for eating obscure things like bugs and berries, and of course, drinking his own pee. But like all reality TV, you have to ask, is this show really reality? You may think from how he acts and what he says on the show that he really lives the lifestyle during filming, but this may not be the case. This photo was leaked of Bear chowing down on a huge meal of pizza with the crew. It seems he's not actually out there surviving in the wild, but instead eating Domino's. And instead of washing it down with pee, Bear had bottled water. It's not wrong that Bear enjoys a regular meal like you and I, but perhaps he needs to get off his high horse and admit he doesn't seem to really survive out in the wilderness. If this is the case with his food, then who knows what else on the show could be fake. Hey, that pee could have been apple juice. Next up is I before E except after C. Teachers at school have been teaching us this rule for hundreds of years. It's a commonly known English language rule that in words I never comes before E unless it's after C. But there is one exception to this. The word efficient totally destroys this rule that we've been taught for years. Sure, this does work for many words, but you don't want to accidentally misspell efficient in front of your whole class if you follow this rule. This is taught in middle school and sometimes even preschool, as it's a kid's rhyme. And thanks to this, we all assume it's true as we've grown up with it all our lives. But despite what your 3rd grade teacher may have told you, this rule is a bunch of lies. So to avoid misspelling words, it's best to forget this fake rule and just work on your spelling. Otherwise, you may find that the I before E except after C rule is having a negative effect on your spelling. Next up, we have painting grass. You do a lot of things with grass. You cut the grass, play on the grass, treat the grass, but one thing you've likely never heard of people doing is painting the grass. Well, back in 2015, a drought hit California. Locals were left with patchy grass with brown spots everywhere. And for some people in particularly badly affected areas, their entire lawn was nasty wilted grass. So to get around this, Californians took matters into their own hands. They bought some grass paint used by landscapers and golf course maintenance crews and began spraying their grass green. Their lawns went from looking like flattened bales of hay to amazing fresh pasture. However, this is not a permanent fix, but it does last for about 6 months, which is pretty good. Since people doing this during the drought, now some plain lazy people who can't be bothered to water their grass are now doing this too. That is a way less worthy reason for painting your grass green, but it's a free country, so knock yourself out. Hopefully not literally with paint fumes though. Next up is road tape. We all see road markings every day, but we never see how they get there. By the looks of them, they're just painted on the ground. But that is not the case. In some areas, paint is used, but for about 70 years, paint hasn't been used for road markings. Nope, instead, they use something called thermoplastic tape. This tape is laid down and then will be blowtorched into the ground. Now that is way cooler than paint. This tape is far better than paint as it doesn't get worn off the ground quite as easily. And it's also super easy to lay down tape instead of painting intricate designs and super straight lines. The tape does sometimes look painted, but that is because sometimes they have to use a primer to make it really stick to the ground. This is used in most parts of the USA, UK and Australia. So go outside and check it out. You might even be able to tell that it isn't paint. Next up is fake cobblestone. In many towns and cities, cobblestone is used on roads and pavements. And this is especially popular in classy areas. You may think it's done by hand, but believe it or not, some artisan craftsman isn't spending years and years placing each brick on big projects. So, how is it done? Well, they use large road printing machines. Builders simply place stones into the machine and then the machine does all the work, arranging and laying them down. It's way easier, faster, and cheaper. So it's a no-brainer that builders would opt for one of these machines instead of spending days laying bricks. And it looks pretty amazing to watch, so try and track down one of these big bricklaying projects happening and you can check it out for yourself. Now those classy areas don't seem as classy, seeing as a robot made the pathway rather than people. Next up is Hello Kitty. Hello Kitty is many kids' favorite cat. It's in toys, TV shows, theme parks, and there are even Hello Kitty themed houses around the world. But what if I told you that Hello Kitty is not a cat at all? Trust me, I'm not crazy, hear me out. Sure, kitty does mean kitten like cat. But when Cosmopolitan magazine asked the inventor of Hello Kitty about her creation, she made a shocking statement. She said that despite the fact Hello Kitty looks like a cat, she is a girl. So all these people who believe Hello Kitty is a cat are wrong according to the creator. Many people, especially in Japan, call their cat Hello Kitty, so perhaps they need to think about a name change. Then again, this may lead to them calling their daughter Hello Kitty, so let's just pretend we never heard that. Next up is fortune cookies. We all know fortune cookies. You get them at the end of your meal in a Chinese restaurant and they give you a fortune. And because of this, they must be a real staple in China, right? Wrong. Fortune cookies were actually made in California, get this, by a Japanese man. He wanted something fun to enjoy at the end of their meal. And like any cool gimmick, it spread and is now an international phenomena. In fact, the only place fortune cookies haven't spread to is China itself. In fact, in China they don't use fortune cookies as they say they're too American. And as a bonus fact, chop suey is also not Chinese and was made in, you guessed it, California. People say China is trying to become the new America, but maybe it's the other way around. Next up is Subway. Subway is known for a few things: customization, Jared, and of course their foot-long sandwiches. Which is why when an Australian teen posted a photo of an 11-inch Subway sandwich, it went viral. And for the record, a foot is 12 inches, not 11. Subway actually responded to this, saying that when they say foot long, this doesn't necessarily mean their sandwiches will be a foot long. Instead, they actually trademarked the word foot long, so they can say their sandwiches are foot longs without actually making them 12 inches. This saves them a ton of money, but also tricks you into thinking you're getting more food. We've done videos on ways companies scam you before, but it looks like we're due for a part 2 now. Subway, I'm disappointed in you. Maybe that's how Jared lost all that weight. He wasn't being fed what he was told. Doesn't explain Jared's other activities though. Next up is Fruit Loops. When we wake up and eat breakfast, most of us reach for some cereal, and one of America's favorite cereals is Fruit Loops. You probably think that Fruit Loops are all different fruity flavors, but sadly this is not the case. In fact, Fruit Loops are all the same flavor. Some people do taste other flavors, but this is just a placebo. The flavor is described by Fruit Loops themselves as a blend of fruity flavors. But in the UK, the only flavor of Fruit Loops is carrot. And in the UK, Fruit Loops do not look good. I've tried them myself and they are nothing special. So it turns out in the UK, Fruit Loops have nothing to do with fruit at all. Check out the poll in the top right corner and you can vote for the everyday thing that proves your life is a lie. For me, I think it's fortune cookies because I had no idea they come from America. This video shoutout goes to Brady Nolan. Subscribe and turn on notifications and comment done for a shoutout in the next video. But as always, thanks for watching. Check out some more videos on screen right now. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.